guys, again, I'm here in Math with Teens to discuss to you the simplifying radical expressions using the laws of radicals. Okay, first, let us have the perfect end root. Our perfect end root is up to 10. So this part are the roots. So this part, when we multiply itself by 2 times, this is the answers. And if you multiply in 3 times, that is cube, 4 times, and 5 times. So when we say 2 times 2, so it equal to 4. When we multiply 3 times, so 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. When we say 4 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 16. So how about what is the perfect end root? So when we say square root of 4, the answer is 2. Cube root of 8 is also 2. Fourth root of 16 is 2. Fifth root of 32 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Cube root of 27 is 3. Fourth root of 81 is 3. Fifth root of 243 is 3. So the square root of 16 is 4. Cube root of 64 is 4. The fourth root of 256 is also 4. And so on and so forth. So class, you need to memorize this all up to 10 because some of our examples included in the getting the perfect end root. Okay, we are now in laws of radicals. The first law of radical is n root of a number to the power n. It means n root of a quantity raised to n is equal to a raised to 1 over n quantity raised to n. So multiplying the exponent. So a is equal to n over n and n over n is equal to 1. So a raised to 1 is a. So the answer is a. So if we have the square root of a squared, so meaning we have the square root of a quantity squared, can we write as a raised to 1 half quantity raised to 2 is equal to a raised to 2 over 2, and the answer is also a. So let's give an example. Okay, our first example in law number 1, the n root of a number to the power n is fifth root of 3 raised to 5. Can we write in rational exponent as 3 raised to 5 over 5? And 5 over 5 is equal to 1, so that our answer only is 3. Number 2, cube root of 2b quantity cube. So we will distribute the exponent. So we have cube root of 2 raised to 3, then b raised to 3. And we will write this into rational exponent, become 2 raised to 3 over 3, b raised to 3 over 3. And if we simplify this, 3 over 3 is 1, and 3 over 3 is also 1. So that our answer is only 2b. Number 3, 1 over 4th root of c raised to 4. So if we write this, we have 1 over c raised to 4 over 4, and 4 over 4 is 1. So that our answer is only 1 over c. Okay, the second law of radical is the n root of the product of AB is equal to the product of the n root of each factor. It means if you have n root of AB, so we will write this into rational exponent. We have AB quantity raised to 1 over n, and we have a raised to 1 over n times b raised to 1 over n is equal to n root of a, n root of b. That will be the answer for this n root of AB. Okay, here are the examples of the law number 2. The end root of the product of AB is equal to the product of the end root of each factor. Number 1. Fifth root of CD. So we can write as fifth root of C, fifth root of D. Number 2. Square root of 24. First, we need to think the factors of 24 that the one factor has a perfect square. And that is 4 times 6 because 4 has a perfect square. So we need to write it to separate. Square root of 4 times square root of 6. So square root of 4 is 2 and square root of 6 is also square root of 6. So our answer is 2 square root of 6. How about fifth root of a raised to 7? So we need to separate. So we have fifth root of a raised to 5 times fifth root of a raised to 2. So look at this. The exponent of this is 5 and the exponent of this is 2. When we add that, it becomes 7. So we need to separate because fifth root of a raised to 5 has perfect end root and it becomes a. So a fifth root of a squared. Number 4. Cube root of 16. So think of a number that the factors have a cube root, has a perfect cube root. So what is that? And that is 8. Cube root of 8 times cube root of 2. So what is the cube root of 8? So that is 2. So we have 2 cube root of 2. And that is the answer for number 4. 2 cube root of 2. Okay, another examples for the law number 2 of radicals. So number 5 is the cube root of negative 8. Is equal to negative 2 because when we multiply 3 times itself, negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to negative 8. So cube root of negative 8 is equal to negative 2. Square root of 48, x raised to 4, y raised to 6. So think of a number, two numbers, or two factors that the product is 48. And that will be 16 times 3. Because 16 has a perfect square. And times x raised to 4, then y raised to 6. This is a perfect square, perfect square. So what is the square root of 16? It becomes 4. Square root of x to the 4th, that is x squared. Square root of y raised to 6 is y cubed, and the remaining is square root of 3. So our answer is 4x squared, y cubed, square root of 3. Number 7. Cube root of 81, a raised to 6, b, c raised to 9. So take up a number that we have, the factors has, the one factor has a perfect cube. And that is 27 times 3. 27 times 3 is equal to 81. So a raised to 6, b, c raised to 9. So when we get the cube root of 27, become 3, correct? Cube root of a raised to 6, your exponent can be divided. You will divide 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that your exponent in a is 2. Then cube root of c raised to 9. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we have c raised to 3. Then inside the radical, so we have cube root of 3b. So we don't have the perfect cube here. So our answer now is 3a squared c cube, cube root of 3b. Okay, how about the law number 3? The end root of the quotient a over b is the end root of a over the end root of b. Note that b is not equal to 0. It means end root of a over b is equal to a over b raised to 1n, rational exponent, a over b, quantity raised to 1 over n, is equal to, so distribute the exponent. So we have a raised to 1 over n over b raised to 1 over n. So the answer is n root of a over n root of b. It means n root of A over B is equal to the n root of A over n root of B. So, pwede na kayong di dumaan dito. So, doon na kayo sa pinaka-final answer. Okay, example of law number 3. Square root of 1 over 5. So, we write that as square root of 1 over square root of 5. If there are radicals in the denominator, we simplify the fraction into an expression free of radicals in the denominator. So, this process is called the rationalizing the denominator. So, we need to rationalize the denominator. So, we multiply this into square root of 5 over square root of 5. Because we need to get the perfect square in the denominator. Then we multiply both numerator and the denominator. So the answer now is square root of 1 times square root of 5 is square root of 5. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is square root of 25. So we don't have square root of 5. So that the answer is square root of 5 over 5. Because the square root of 25 is 5. Our final answer is square root of 5 over 5. Number 2, so we have cube root of x over 8. We write as cube root of x over cube root of a, 8. So we have a perfect cube of 8. What is the cube root of 8? So the cube root of 8 is 2. So that our answer is cube root of x over 2. So no need to rationalize because this is having a perfect cube. Okay, another example, number 3. Square root of 4 over 18. So we write as square root of 4 over square root of 18. So now, we multiply this into 2 because 18 times 2 is 36. And 36 has a perfect square. So we need to rationalize. So when we multiply both into square root of 2, so it becomes square root of 4 times square root of 2 over square root of 36. So square root of 4 is 2. Then square root of 2 over 6. Because square root of 36 is 6. And we need to simplify the 2 over 6. The final answer now is square root of 2 over 3. Number 4. Cube root of 3a over 4a. So we have cube root of 3a over cube root of 4a. So we write as that. Then we need the perfect cube. So the perfect cube in 4, so we need to multiply into 2. 4 times 2 is 8 and that is a perfect cube. And what is the perfect cube of 8? A. So we need to multiply that into a squared so that we have a cube. That will be the perfect cube. So we need to rationalize. We need to multiply both numerator and denominator in cube root of 2a squared. So when we get the product, so cube root of 3a times cube root of 2a squared become cube root of 6a cubed over cube root of 8a cubed. So the answer, so we have a perfect cube here in the numerator because this a cube. So it becomes a cube root of 6 over 2a because the perfect cube of this is 2a. And the final answer, so we have to cancel a in the numerator and the denominator. So final answer is cube root of 6 over 2. Okay, law number 4. The n root of the m root of a number is the nm root of a. And what is that? So m root of n root of a is equal to mn root of a. So you need to multiply the index. Example, cube root of 4th root of a is equal to 12 root of a. Multiply the index. So 12 root of A. Number 2. Cube root of square root of 64. So we have 2 times 3, 2 here, and 3 outside. So 3 times 2 is 6. So we have 6 root of 64. And we have the perfect 6 root of 64, and that is 2. Because if you multiply itself in 6 times, the answer is 64. Then the 6 root of 64 is 2. Okay, next example is cube root of fifth root of 8 become 15 root of 8, and 15th root of 8 can be write as 15 root of 2 cube. So we can write that is simplify. So we have 2 raised to 3 over 15. So 3 over 15 can be simplified or lowest term. So it becomes 2 raised to 1 fifth and change into radical again. So we have fifth root of 2. Number 4. Cube root of square root of 9x raised to 10. So we have the index here, 2. So 3 times 2. So we have 6 root of 9x raised to 10. Again, we need to simplify. So our 9 can be write as 3 squared, x raised to 10. So in our rational exponent can be 3 raised to 2, 6, and x raised to 10 over 6. So your denominator is 6, both 6. Your numerator is 2 and 10. Simplify the exponent. So 2 over 6 is 1/3. Then 10 over 6 is 5 over 3. So 3 raised to 1/3 and x raised to 5 over 3. So we will write this into radical. So we have cube root of 3x raised to 5. And 3 cube root of 3 x raised to 5. So we have the perfect cube here into x raised to 5. We need to get the perfect cube. So the perfect cube, when we divide this into 3, the remaining is 2. So we have x cube root of 3x squared. And that is the final answer. Okay, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you will learn a lot. God bless and take care.